Welcome to Backstage with Kennedy. This little show will be your remedy. From Toronto, spanning across the sea. Cool people, lots of laughs. This is your favorite podcast.
Hello and welcome. My name's Kennedy from the Backstage with Kennedy podcast. I got a really great guest today. Hardcore band by the name of Hellbent. I got Phil from Hellbent here. Wicked band. You should check them out if you haven't already because they frickin' rock. Good buddy Gabe Koury connected me with their music. Searched up their YouTube videos. They rocked. Checked out their Spotify. They rocked. And I got really hooked on these guys. I love this like whole stoner hardcore idea, and I'm really happy to have Phil on the podcast. So yeah, Phil, pleasure to have you, man. Looks like you're in a Cornwall house doing a house party today. What's up, man?
Yeah. So, I mean, rural New Brunswick right now. That's our first couple of shows in 2.5. The ointment on our joints again, just to shake all that stuff off. But we're playing a show tonight, and I'm literally posted up in the corner here, just here making this happen with you.
Beauty. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this, man. I know you guys have been super busy, and you're gonna continue to be super busy there. Yeah, I was saying there's a lot of driving for you guys recently. Obviously, you're out in Cornwall right now. You were in Halifax yesterday. You're going back to Quebec very soon. Has what's it like to be back on stage? Like, obviously, it's an exciting thing. Is there anything that you really look forward to about going back and performing these shows?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, playing shows is always. I mean, it's the best part of being in a band. That's without a doubt. I mean, playing the songs in a studio is tedious and monotonous. Doing the music video logos and stuff. That's all it's fun and stuff, but the best part of doing the band thing is playing these shows. So obviously we've all been really eager to play these shows. We had some shows set up earlier this year, and the restrictions that kept happening throughout the country and whatnot kind of left us whether we were going to do them or not. We're back, and we're super excited to be doing them, and super stoked.
Perfect. So you guys are from the Hammer, right? You're from Hamilton? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What, being in the hardcore scene, coming up in Hamilton, were there any local bands that you really looked up to? Like, I'm from Burlington originally. So like that whole Burley calling thing is what I grew up on. Was there anything that really, any bands that really got you going?
Now, me specifically, I can definitely speak for myself, not maybe for the band, but one of my favorite, maybe, I can't remember if they were from Hamilton or actually they may have been from Burlington. You might even recognize. Did you ever remember the band Roses Dead?
No. Who they say?
No, okay. They were one of my favorite bands. Yeah. They were one of my favorite bands growing up. They were super cool. Definitely a huge influence on me just wanting to do vocals when I was in high school, because that's when that stuff came out. A lot of local metalcore stuff. Den Divine, obviously.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Straight Reads the Line stuff is always influential, right? But yeah, to be entirely honest, Roses Dead was the band that really set it off for me. I think they made one record. They're not too well known, but the people who do know them, they'll nod their head to that reference there. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
Dude, whenever I hear someone reference Dead and Divine, I get so excited because I remember growing up the lead singer from Dead and Divine, his cousin I went to high school with, and he was a good buddy of mine. And I remember he showed me this band, and I was just like, dude, this rocks. And then I come up meet people all the time now who I'm like, Oh yeah, I was a Dead and Divine fan when I was like growing up out in Burlington. They're like, dude, that band's sick, and I'm like, I'm so happy you know about them. That's wicked, man. That's wicked. So
Yeah, yeah. They had such a big influence on the area. Them, yeah, again, Straight Beats the Line, The Gorgeous, Holly Springs Disaster, all those bands during that time, they had such a big impact for a lot of the bands that are now, sorry, for the musicians that are now in bands in that area nowadays. Like it's almost like I almost didn't even want to bring it up because I'm almost feel like I'm beating a dead horse because everybody knows those bands,
yeah,
but I mean, how could I not? How could I not? These guys, they were super influential. These guys were doing super big tours and stuff. And yeah, looking up to them. I'm friends with a couple of those folks as well nowadays. I didn't know them when I was younger, but it's certainly, yeah, I would say those folks.
100%. I feel you, man. So did you ever play on anything like Burley Calling or anything like that growing up? Burley Calling Sound of Music Festival, anything like that?
We I didn't play anything out there, that's for sure. But I have played, I think maybe only like one or two scene festivals in St. Catharines. I'm
Oh
actually
yeah.
originally from St. Catharines. We say the band is from Hamilton because
Okay.
a majority of the band is from Hamilton. But like, yeah, I've played in St. Catharines, or sorry, the Scene Fest. I think one or two times, which is a great. I mean, that festival was super cool, and I don't know if it'll ever come back. I mean, I don't know if you heard, but like that St. Catharines just had that really cool festival that
Yeah.
happened, Born and Raised, and they had like City in Color and Alexis on Fire to make that scene community or festival happen again. Whether it's called Scene again, who knows? If it's
Yeah.
called Born and Raised from now on, who cares? But big shows need to happen, and I love to see it. It's great. It's great for the city.
That yeah, that Born and Raised festival, I felt the second I saw it, I was like, this is like this reminds me of Scene Fest. Obviously, they're not playing in like the clubs and stuff around the city, but like just the fact that Montebello Park has a show is like that's huge, man. I went to school in Niagara, so I know that area very, very well.
Oh, where'd you go to school?
I went to Niagara College, but
Uh,
I lived in Welland for quite a few years.
oh, cool, cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. How do you like Niagara?
I love it. It's one of those places that
Any
when you're in it, you want to leave, but when you're out of it, you still have that nostalgic memory of how much you love it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's an interesting area.
absolutely. So you guys obviously just released this new project. For people who haven't heard it, what should they be expecting out of this? And yeah, like, was there anything that really influenced you from different bands, maybe as a band as a whole, that you put in place in your music? Or is there anything you were really going for with your sound on that album or that project? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that you mentioned earlier that you came from a rap scene yourself. That's actually some of the biggest influence on Hellbent stuff. Of course, we like our hardcore punk. We like our, the Terror. We like our friggin' Descendants. That's a no brainer. But obviously, to try and bring things to the table, to try and shake it up a bit. Hip hop is one of my biggest influences. One of my favorite artists of all time goes by the name of Atmosphere. And
Oh yeah.
if you're a fan of if you're a fan of hip hop, you know who Atmosphere is.
Yeah.
And just rhyme sayers in general, just Brother Ali and it's all that stuff is super influential. And then I think we really, really like to just have fun with the music. We like to sing about stupid, silly stuff, and sometimes we're considered the black sheep of the hardcore crowd. Some people just want to do the throwdown, they want to the two-step and all the time, and we don't necessarily, we kind of actively don't do that stuff because it's very tropey.
Mhm.
And like I said, we just like to have fun when we play shows. I like to tell people when I'm on stage, let's dance like idiots together. Let's dance like no one's in the room. And I say, here, I'll go first, and I'll do something stupid. And normally that sets the crowd off and everybody's just having a good time. And that's what I'm mainly focused on, is like, let's have a good time, but at the same time, let's not take this bullshit serious.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I feel that, man. I feel that. I think that's really cool, the creative aspect to it, because there's so many bands that can get streamlined in a certain way, and having that creative ideal that, you know, you don't have to do everything that everyone else is doing, and like it doesn't all have to be about that exact crazy breakdown. You know what I mean? It could be about that sick guitar intro, that was the best part of that song. You know what I mean? Like there's different things that you can really focus in on, and I think that's cool that you're kind of going, as you said, the black sheep of the hardcore scene, going away from that that set way, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, definitely.
100%, man. So you have a music video where you guys are taking tons and tons of bong tokes.
Totally.
Um,
No, yeah. And that's just it.
you guys obviously love to smoke weed. I've asked Ephraim from Death by Stereo and Voodoo Glow Skulls this exact question. If you could smoke weed with one person, who? I think I lost you there, Phil. Okay, we're good. If I could,
Yes.
if you could smoke
Sorry
weed
about
with
that.
one person, who would it be in this entire world?
Ooh, that's a really good question. You know, question. You know, obviously the obvious answer would probably be something like, you know, the big famous people who smoke weed,
Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, Seth Rogen. But and that's just like, it just feels obvious. Like I feel like those are obviously cool people to smoke weed with. They're very open about it. I would probably choose. Are you familiar with like the
Sorry, with who?
like the Bam Margera stuff?
Yeah.
I think is his name, and he's absolutely, he's wild. He's really weird.
Yeah.
He would probably be really funny to smoke. So actually, probably any of the Jackass guys, probably maybe any of the non-sober ones. I know a bunch of them are sober now.
You'd
Yeah,
probably
maybe
have to
the
watch
Jackass
what they
guy.
put in your weed, or you'd probably have to supply the pipe or the bong or whatever, because you don't know what kind of tricks are going to be in that bong when you go to smoke out of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So, obviously, Gabe Koury connected us. What's it like working with Gabe? Gabe's a hilarious dude. I love every conversation I get to have with him. He always makes me laugh. What's it like working with Gabe? Because he does have a lot of insight on the music scene as well.
Gabe's great. We love Gabe. He's a hardworking individual. He's always throwing stuff our way. He's always hooking up, you know, interviews and podcasts such as this, which is always a good time. We're always glad to be doing stuff like this. And yeah, working with Gabe it's quite relaxed. He's really easy to work with, and then like you just said, he's quite funny, being the stand-up comedian. That he does. So yeah, I mean, with Gabe, yeah, lots of cool stuff that he's normally shooting us a message every once in a while, and he's pretty easy to work with. Yeah, I would say he's super easy to work with.
Beauty. So, I'm not sure. I should have looked into this, honestly. Do you have any shows in the Toronto GTA area that people in the Toronto scene can hit up and go check out? Because I feel like a lot of my listeners are from the city. So, yeah, is there any shows that they can check out Hellbent at? Because, again, I think everyone should check out your band because you guys rock, man.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm not sure when this podcast comes out, but we'll be playing in Cornwall, Ontario, which is kind of near that Kingston area, I think, if my geography is right. But if that's too if that's too out of the way, we're actually playing Waterloo. It's the last day of the tour. I know that's not super close. It's still a bit of a drive, but Waterloo is probably about the closest to the GTA that we're doing. That's on July 10th at the Revive, and I think we're playing with a band called Bad Egg and another band I can't think of. That should be a good time, and yeah, grab your tickets for that because I think those are actually selling pretty quickly.
Hell yes. Everybody pack your cars up, get an Airbnb or find your nearest punk house in Waterloo and sleep on the floor and let's rock it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
All right, brother. Well, Phil, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. We're going to wrap this up, but thanks again, dude. Can't wait to see more from you guys coming out. And I hope the rest of your tour goes absolutely wicked as it should, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I know it's been a little spotty with this internet connection that I'm working with here. Like I said, I'm out in the sticks, so it can be a little buzzy at times. So I appreciate your patience with me. I understand how that could be. I run a podcast myself, so I know how sometimes these Zoom meetings can go. So I appreciate your patience with that. Yeah, definitely check out Hellbent. We just got a new music video that we put out not too long ago called My Hits Don't Lie, where I end up smoking 100 bong tokes in 100 minutes. It's totally true. We have the clock on the camera there. There's no gimmicks or anything. I was absolutely fried by the end of it. It was such a good time. Yeah, definitely check out our brand new record that we just put out, Primitive Hits. It's about, I think it's like 10, maybe 8 songs, like 14 minutes. Trust me, you can listen to it 4 times in an hour and still have enough time to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Hell yeah. Well, brother, yeah, thanks again, man. Kick ass tonight. I hope that house show goes wicked, and we'll talk soon, bro.
Sounds good, brother. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. See you.
See ya.